on the night when they eventually showed their face. The sergeant that was doing the investigation gave me 3 versions of events what happened to my son. And when he told me the first one, I queried him on it, because I've been driving four-wheel drives for 20 years or so. And then he gave me the second one. The first one was, as I said, he's hit the roof bar, he's bounced off the bumper and the side mud guard and hit the ground. I said, okay, how did he get his leg injuries? He said, oh, we may, the second version then came, well, add on to that, he may have been hit with the back rear wheel. I said, well, hang on a minute, that doesn't line up to all of his injuries. So he said, then he turned around and said, that the officer may have ran him over with both right wheels.
Oh, gosh.
Now, they've actually made a statement to say that conversation between him and my wife and I never took place. Now, we were in the front foyer of Albany Regional Hospital. There were CCTV cameras everywhere there. There would have to be vision of that meeting taking place with the investigating sergeant on the night.
The driver, in his initial report, talks about a ricochet that Rex Bellotti Jr. was hit by the right-hand side of the rhubarb and was ricocheted across the street, with no reference to having gone under a wheel. That came later. I'm just going to read this to you. This is by the woman who owned the house where the wake was being held. And she says, when I heard the incident, I ran straight up the hill and had a look. I didn't go right up to him. He was laying still, twitching. I rang the ambulance. I saw the police moving him, but they looked like he were moving him more into the middle of the road.
Oh.
I thought that they shouldn't have been moving him at all. I didn't understand whether they were trying to move him more into the middle of the road. After that, I walked off and I called an ambulance, and I didn't want to see anything else. A man named Michael Coyne, he was there on the night. He was at the front. The car swerved suddenly again towards the opposite side of the road, and I was standing on the opposite. I saw the car swerve. We're talking about a police vehicle which stopped immediately. Yeah? And it goes back to, if you think where Ashley was, you think where Rex was, and now we're talking about a swerving car throughout the testimonies. I saw the driver get out of the car, and quickly Andy said, I didn't do anything, it wasn't my fault. I said, you lying dog, I seen what you did with my own eyes.
So it was a deliberate act?
Well, this
Wow.
witness is claiming that he is just seeing this officer do this. The officer is saying, I haven't done anything. A large thing of this was, again, the loud bang that people heard both from inside the house and outside the house at that point of impact. So far, no one's talking about skids, but we hear about a loud bang. That loud bang is Rex Jr. being hit by this van, this four-wheel drive. The police claiming he's only going 40, 45 kilometers an hour. I read in the paper that police were going 40 kilometers an hour when the crash happened. By the sound that crash made, and it was very loud, it sounded like the police would have had been going faster than 40 kilometers an hour. I was sitting inside the house, it was quite noisy when people were talking, and the bang was so loud.
Can I also say that if there's any kind of slowing down, there would have been marks on the road. Because that's the tyres gripping after a big impact. There would be skid marks, there would have been noises.
Yeah.
There's
So
no
Maureen wanted to go in the ambulance with Rex to the hospital. However, the police said, you don't need to, the family will be there. But we already know the family never contacted, the police never contacted the family.
So if she hadn't have contacted them, then...
That's disgraceful.
So we have at least one police car driving past the Bellotti family again, and no one so far has thought to inform the family.
Obscene.
This is a report made by Sergeant M.G. Appleby on the major crowds investigation. Now this is in June 2009, so already the months are ticking. My initial assessment of the file revealed several conflicting accounts of the crash and the events prior to. There are conflicting descriptions of Rex Bellotti's state of intoxication, state of mind, conflicting accounts of his direction of travel across the road at the time he was struck, and his manner of crossing the road, conflicting accounts of the direction of travel and speed of the police vehicle, and anecdotal evidence of Rex Bellotti Jr.'s state of mind, including unsubstantiated accounts. The question we need to ask is, if this is not the intent to inflict serious harm, if not death, what was his intention? What was his intention towards driving towards these kids? And these questions are never asked nor answered by the police. These are excerpts, and there will be quite a number of them, from the CCC report. The Commission is of the view that while Sergeant Littlelow did make certain attempts to interview some witnesses, his efforts did not extend far enough. Although Rex Jr. and Rakisha Jetta were not in a position to provide statements immediately, this should not be precluded him from seeking out other witnesses. It would appear that Sergeant
My
Littlelow
favourite part.
relied largely on Mr. Bellotti, the father of the man who was run down,
Who wasn't there?
and Mr. Coyne to bring witnesses to him rather than proactively seeking them out himself. Rex Bellotti and Eliza Bellotti weren't there on the night.
Yes.
However, the police officer investigating this has said, "You figure out what happened, come and tell me that."
What about the other 3 officers that were there as well? Yeah, nothing.
Well, keep in mind that after the Sunday Times article, it was 4 separate police officers that rang John Hammond, who was the lawyer for the family. So, you have now no one caring, and then all of a sudden, all people involved.
I just want to mention as well that all throughout the CCC report, it constantly mentions how well we implemented these changes in how these processes occur, but it had nothing to do with the media attention at that time.
Just one other thing too, Chris. The Aplo coin there shouldn't have been involved because of the conflict of interest. The wake in question is Aplo coin's his family. The young girl's Rakisha's his granddaughter. He should have not have been involved in that investigation at all. He should have been kept as far away from it as possibly could.
Basically, the main point of this is a claim that Rex Bellotti made about the treatment that his son was receiving was being based on him being Indigenous, and therefore he was claiming that there was racial prejudice as part of this. So you see, there is no real evidence to prove that Rex Jr. being Indigenous played any part in how the investigation was managed. Now, this is quite interesting. This is someone who was there on the night and was one of the first response officers. I have known in my 11 years of dealing with the male Noongar population who come to police attention that offering them a cigarette, if you have one available, tends to moderate their behaviour combined with calm and receptive discussion.
Racist Western Australian cops.
SC Turton gave me a cigarette and we talked for a short bit. Everyone was pretty fired up at that stage. The police were offering smokes to calm people down.
So they think that that Noongar men
He
are
was put in charge of the rally.
basic that, nearly witnessed someone being murdered and give them a smoke, everything's okay.
I don't smoke.
Racist.
Neither do I.
Well, I'm sure that
you
if
have
the
to
police
understand,
officer
this
offered
has
you one,
nothing
you'd
to
have
do
one,
with
yeah?
the fact that he was Indigenous. And then the fact that other people were there.
What was in the smoke to calm him down?